My wife cheated with a married coworker. I found out too late and now I know everything, except whether I can ever trust her again. Hi Reddit. I never thought I'd be one of those people who posts here, but I'm sitting in a hotel room right now, staring at the ceiling and trying to figure out where my marriage went wrong. I need to get this off my chest before it eats me alive. I, 35M, have been married to my wife, Rachel, 34F, for 8 years. We met in college, both studying communications, and we just clicked. Rachel was always the funny, outgoing one, quick-witted, full of life, a little chaotic in a charming way. I was the steady, supportive guy in the background, which seemed to work for us. She made life exciting. I gave her stability. Or at least that's how I saw it. We bought a house together in a quiet suburb outside of Austin, adopted a dog named Milo, and for the most part, things felt good, normal, comfortable. About a year ago, Rachel started working at a new marketing firm downtown. It was a big opportunity, better pay, better benefits, more responsibility. I was proud of her. The first few months, she came home full of stories about her new team, especially about this guy named Eli, 32M. He was the new creative director. She said he was funny, brilliant, a little intense but in a good way. I remember joking, "You sound like you have a little crush," and she laughed it off. I should have paid more attention. At first, I didn't think much of it. She's always been friendly and flirty in a harmless way, it's part of her personality. But then she started working late. A lot. Campaign deadlines, she'd say. Eli's pushing us hard. And sure, I believed her. I mean, I work in software, I know how brutal project timelines can be. But the little things started piling up. She began guarding her phone. Not in an obvious way, but subtle. She used to leave it on the kitchen counter, now it was always face down. She changed her passcode. When I'd walk into a room, she'd quickly swipe away a message or close her laptop. The late nights got later. Sometimes she wouldn't get home until 11 p.m., reeking of wine and cigarettes. Rachel doesn't even smoke. I asked her once, if there was something going on with her and Eli. She looked at me like I'd slapped her. "Are you serious right now? He's married with a kid. I can't believe you'd even ask me that." She cried. I apologized. God, I felt like such an asshole. But it didn't stop there. She started being distant. Physically and emotionally. We hadn't had sex in nearly 2 months. When I brought it up, she said she was stressed, tired, overwhelmed. This job is just taking everything out of me. So I gave her space. I cooked dinner more. Took Milo for longer walks. Tried to be understanding. Meanwhile, she texted nonstop. Her screen would light up in the middle of the night, and she'd take it into the bathroom for 20 minutes. I convinced myself it was just work. Or maybe she was venting to a friend. I didn't want to be the jealous husband. But the seed had been planted. Something didn't feel right. 2 weeks ago, I did something I'm not proud of. I went through her laptop when she left it unlocked one morning. I told myself I was looking for peace of mind, but deep down, I knew what I was about to find. And I found it. A folder on her desktop named Designers Skrinspo. Inside? Screenshots of texts between her and Eli. Not work-related. They started tame, jokes, memes, inside jokes about their boss. Then things got flirty. Can't stop thinking about last night. Wish I could sneak away with you. You looked so good in that dress today. One photo of her in our bedroom, in my shirt, holding a glass of wine. Sent at 10:42 p.m. the night she said she was working late. I felt sick. My hands were shaking. I closed the laptop and stared at our wedding photo on the bookshelf like it was some kind of sick joke. I haven't confronted her yet. I don't know how. She still doesn't know I know. I've been sleeping next to her, pretending everything is fine while my insides feel like they're rotting. I don't know what to do. After I found those messages, I felt like my world had cracked open. But instead of confronting Rachel immediately, I did something stupid. I froze. I told myself I needed time to think, to prepare, to be strategic, but really, I was just scared. Scared that once I said it out loud, everything would fall apart. For 3 days, I played the role of the oblivious husband. I kissed her goodbye in the morning. I asked about her day. I even let her talk about work and pretend like she wasn't sneaking off to text the man she was cheating on me with. It was torture. On the fourth night, I couldn't take it anymore. She came home late, again. It was almost 10 p.m. She smelled like perfume and cigarette smoke, her lipstick smudged, hair messy in a way that wasn't work stress messy. I was sitting on the couch, the folder open on her laptop in front of me. I had it waiting like an exhibit in a courtroom. When she saw it, she froze. Her eyes darted from the screen to me. "Why are you on my laptop?" I didn't say anything for a second. I was trying to breathe, trying to not scream. Then I said, "I know, Rachel. I know everything." She didn't deny it. Didn't ask what I meant. Her face just dropped. She slumped onto the couch across from me like her bones gave up. "How long?" I asked. My voice cracked, but I didn't care. She wiped at her eyes, already starting to cry. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. "How long?" I repeated. She took a shaky breath. "About 5 months. Months." My vision went blurry. I felt like I was floating above the room, watching someone else's marriage implode. Was it just emotional at first? I asked. I don't know why. Maybe I was hoping for some kind of lesser betrayal. Maybe I wanted to believe I hadn't been completely replaced. She nodded. "It started with texting. I didn't plan it. He saw me. He listened to me. At work, I felt like I mattered. Like I was still interesting." "You?" She stopped. Bit her lip. I leaned forward. "Say it." "You stopped seeing me, Jack." I laughed. Actually laughed. "So you cheated because I wasn't attentive enough? Because I work late too, and I'm tired, and we've both been grinding to build a life together?" Her voice cracked. "I didn't plan it. I didn't mean to fall for him." That stung more than anything else. "You fell for him?" She covered her face, sobbing now. "I don't know. I don't know what's real anymore." I wanted to scream, to throw something. But instead I stood up, grabbed my keys, and said, "I'm staying at a hotel tonight. Don't call me." And I left. Now I'm here, in this sterile room with its 2 white sheets and humming air conditioner, wondering what the hell I do next. Do I leave her? Do I fight for something that's already shattered? I don't know. But I can't pretend anymore. I didn't sleep at all that night. I laid there in the hotel bed staring at the ceiling, replaying every memory, every moment of the past year. Every time I kissed her goodnight while she texted him. Every time I made her coffee in the morning while she was probably still basking in the glow of his words. My stomach turned over every time her laughter echoed in my memory. The next morning, my phone had 5 missed calls and 2 texts from Rachel. "Please come home. We need to talk. I love you. I'm sorry." I didn't reply. Instead, I drove home around noon while I knew she'd be at work. I needed to get a few things: clothes, my passport, laptop. While I was packing, Milo followed me from room to room, tail down, ears back like he knew something was wrong. That broke me more than anything else. On my way out, I grabbed one last thing: the wedding photo from the hallway shelf. I don't know why. Maybe because I needed to remember that it had been real once. Or maybe I needed a reminder of what was lost. That night, she came to the hotel. I didn't tell her where I was staying. She must have tracked my location or guessed. When I opened the door, she looked like hell. Puffy eyes, messy hair, still wearing her work clothes but with yesterday's makeup smudged under her eyes. She didn't say anything at first. Just walked in, sat on the edge of the bed, and stared at her hands. Then, softly, I ended it with Eli. I stayed silent. I told him it was over. That I needed to fix things with you. "That easy, huh?" I said. 5 months of lying and sneaking around and you just unplug it like a lamp? Her eyes flicked up. "You think this is easy for me?" I stepped back, my voice sharp. "I think you cheated on your husband. In our home. While I was out trying to make a life for us." She didn't argue. Then she said something that shifted everything. "Eli's wife found out." That made me blink. What? Someone sent her screenshots. I don't know who. Maybe HR flagged something. Or maybe she saw something on his phone. But she showed up at the office yesterday. Screaming. So the secret was out. Not just in our marriage, but publicly. In her workplace. In his marriage. In real life. I almost felt vindicated until she added, Eli got fired. What about you? She hesitated. I'm on administrative leave while they investigate. The silence between us grew thick. She started crying again, but I didn't go to her this time. You burned everything down, I whispered. Not just us. Your job. His family. All of it. She looked up at me, her voice shaking. I didn't mean for it to go that far. You chose to go that far. Every text. Every lie. Every late night. You chose this. And I walked out again. After I walked out of the hotel room that night, I sat in my car for almost an hour. I didn't go anywhere. I just stared out the windshield while my mind ran laps I couldn't slow down. She said it was over. She said she was sorry. She said she wanted to fix things. But how do you fix something when it's been poisoned from the inside for months? I spent the next few days avoiding her completely. She texted me updates, most of which I ignored. She told me HR was interviewing people, that she might lose her job. That she wasn't sleeping. That she missed me. I didn't respond. Then, 3 days later, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. Hi Jeff. I'm Claire, Eli's wife. I think we need to talk. I froze. My first instinct was to ignore it. But something inside me said I owed her a response. We were both collateral damage in the same train wreck. We might as well compare wreckage. We met at a small coffee shop near the edge of town. She was tall, sharp-eyed, and carried herself like someone who had nothing left to lose. She didn't say much at first, just handed me her phone and let me read the messages she found. Same texts. Same photos. Same lies. She said she had suspected something for a while but never imagined it was Rachel. Apparently, she knew of my wife, had met her once at a company holiday event. She seemed sweet, Claire said, the sarcasm burning through her voice. Then she told me something Rachel hadn't. They slept together in your house, Claire said flatly. Twice. While you were out of town in March. I felt a chill crawl up my spine. Rachel had told me it only happened a couple times, but she hadn't said where. I'd assumed hotels, cars, his place, anywhere but our home. But they used our bed. Where we made love. Where we laughed and watched movies and dreamed of kids. I wanted to scream. To punch something. Instead, I asked Claire the only thing I could manage. What are you going to do? She shrugged. We have a kid. So I'll make his life hell in court before I walk away. I nodded. There was something grimly comforting about her decisiveness. Before we parted, she said one last thing. Don't let her guilt manipulate you. They always cry after they get caught. That line haunted me all night. I didn't sleep after meeting Claire. Her voice kept echoing in my head. They always cry after they get caught. It made me rethink every tear Rachel had shed. Were they real? Was she mourning me, or just the life she destroyed? The next morning, I called Rachel. I didn't even say hello. Just, you had sex with him in our house. Silence. Don't lie to me, I added. I talked to Claire. Her voice was small. I was going to tell you. When? I snapped. When I found a condom wrapper in the nightstand. When the sheets stopped smelling like us. I couldn't, she broke off, breath shaky. I couldn't bring myself to say it. I didn't know what to say. My hands were clenched so hard I could feel my nails digging into my palm. I trusted you with everything, I whispered. My heart. My future. My home. And you brought him into it like I didn't exist. There was a long silence. Then she said something that stopped me cold. I was pregnant. I blinked. What? 2 months ago. I had a miscarriage. It was early, I didn't tell anyone. Not even Eli. The room spun. Was it mine? Her voice cracked. I think so. I was almost sure. But there was a window. I wasn't completely certain. My knees buckled and I sank onto the bed. You think I could have been raising his child and never known? I was scared, she whispered. I felt like I was drowning, Jack. I didn't know what I wanted anymore. You were so far away and Eli, he made me feel alive again. But I hated myself every day for what I was doing. I didn't say anything. I couldn't. My mind was racing in 1,000 directions. Then she said something that gutted me completely. I never stopped loving you. Not even while it was happening. I know how that sounds, but it's true. I wanted to scream. You don't betray someone you love like that. But a darker thought crept in. Had I really been present? Had I made her feel seen? Had we been coasting for years while pretending everything was fine? I stood up, shaking. I don't know what you want from me, Rachel. I want a second chance. She was crying again, but I remembered Claire's voice. They always cry after they get caught. I ended the call without another word. The days that followed were a blur. I went back to work, but I wasn't really there. I stared at screens I couldn't read, sat in meetings where I said nothing, answered questions with automatic words that meant nothing. My coworkers must have noticed something was off, but no one asked. I was thankful for that. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Rachel in our bed with him. Every time I took a shower, I wondered if she'd stood in the same spot after him. Our home didn't feel like mine anymore. Every wall was a reminder. Every silence between us was deafening. She kept texting. Every day. Some were long apologies. Others were memories. Remember that weekend in Colorado? Or, I still have the photo of us at the pier. Some were short. I miss you. Please talk to me. I love you. I read them all. I didn't respond to a single one. And then one night she showed up at the hotel. I opened the door, and there she was, makeup-free, hair in a loose bun, oversized hoodie, eyes red and puffy. She looked small. Not the confident, radiant Rachel I'd loved for years. Just a woman who was breaking. Please, she said. Just hear me out. I let her in. We sat on the edge of the bed like strangers. Milo was with her, tail wagging weakly. He sat between us like he didn't know which one of us was leaving. I've started therapy, she said. Individual. Not couples. Not yet. I need to figure myself out first. I didn't respond. I'm not asking you to forgive me today. Or even tomorrow. But please don't shut the door on us completely. I stared at her. You shattered my trust. And now you want me to believe you're ready to rebuild. I am, she said softly. Because if I don't fight for you, if I don't try, I'll never forgive myself. I rubbed my face, exhausted. You already made choices that said otherwise. I was lost. That doesn't excuse it. I own it. But I also know we had something real. Something worth saving. And if there's even a sliver of you that still believes that. Her voice trailed off, but her eyes held mine. I wanted to yell. To cry. To feel something, but I was numb. I don't know, I finally said. I really don't. She nodded. Then I'll wait. However long it takes. Even if you walk away, I needed you to know I wouldn't just disappear. She left without asking for anything more. That night, I cried harder than I had in years. Not because of what she did, but because I still loved her. And I hated myself for it. A week passed. I hadn't spoken to Rachel again, though I thought about her every day. The silence between us had taken on a strange new shape, less like punishment, more like space. Space to think, to breathe, to feel something real again without being overwhelmed by betrayal. I'd begun therapy myself. Just 2 sessions in, but already I was realizing things I hadn't allowed myself to admit before. That our marriage wasn't perfect long before Eli entered the picture. That I had numbed myself to Rachel's emotional signals. That love without attention is a slow kind of death. Still, nothing excused what she did. And yet, I still didn't know if I wanted to leave. Then I got a call. It was Claire, Eli's wife. I hadn't heard from her since our coffee shop meeting, so when her name popped up on my phone, my stomach sank. I answered. Claire. Her voice was tight. I thought you should know something. She didn't wait. Eli didn't just get fired. He was reported for sexual misconduct at the office. Multiple women came forward after what happened with Rachel went public. I blinked. What? Apparently, what he had with Rachel wasn't unique. He'd done similar things with junior employees. Manipulated them. Pressured them. I sat down slowly. My throat went dry. Are you saying he coerced Rachel? I don't know, Claire said. Maybe what they had was real. Maybe not. But I thought you deserved to know the kind of man she got involved with. The line went silent for a few seconds. Then she added, sometimes women fall for men who know how to make them feel special. And sometimes, that feeling is manufactured. Controlled. After we hung up, I sat there for over an hour. I kept hearing Rachel's words. He listened to me. He made me feel alive again. Was she a willing participant? Absolutely. But had she also been preyed upon by a man who made a habit of targeting emotionally vulnerable women? Also yes. That realization didn't excuse the betrayal. But it changed its shape. And I didn't know what to do with that. Later that night, I called Rachel. She answered on the first ring. Jack, I need answers, I said. Real ones. No more lies. She was quiet. Then, come home. I went back to the house for the first time in nearly 3 weeks. It felt strange, like stepping into someone else's life. Everything looked the same, but nothing felt the same. Rachel had cleaned. The scent of lavender candles filled the air, and a fresh set of sheets was on the bed. Small gestures. A quiet apology. She was sitting at the kitchen table, waiting. We didn't hug. We didn't even smile. We just sat there, two people who used to know each other better than anyone else, now strangers with shared ghosts. I talked to Claire, I said. Rachel lowered her gaze. She told me about the other women. About the misconduct cases. About how Eli made a habit of doing what he did to you. Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't cry. I didn't know. I thought what we had was something special. I thought I was different. I wanted to be different. I swallowed. Were you in love with him? She shook her head slowly. No. I wanted to be, maybe. Because it felt exciting. Because I felt invisible at home. Because I was angry and tired and selfish. But I didn't love him. He was an escape. And I was the prison? I asked, my voice flat. Her eyes locked with mine. No. You were the one place I always felt safe. But somewhere along the line, I started mistaking safety for neglect. That hurt more than I expected. She continued, what I did was inexcusable. I won't try to justify it. But I also won't lie to you anymore. Eli made me feel things I hadn't felt in years, but that doesn't mean he deserved me. Or that I deserved him. I see that now. I nodded slowly. I don't trust you. I know. I don't know if I ever will again. She nodded too. I know that too. But I still love you, I said. And I hate that I do. A long silence. Then she reached across the table, not to touch me, but to slide a small envelope my way. I've written everything down, she said. Every timeline. Every message. Everything I've done. No omissions. No excuses. Just facts. If you want to know the full story, it's all there. I looked at it. I didn't open it. Not yet. Then she said, if you decide to walk away, I won't fight it. But if there's even 1% of you that thinks this can be rebuilt, slowly, with honesty, with counseling, I'm willing to spend the rest of my life trying to earn back your trust. I stood up, took the envelope, and left. I didn't say goodbye. I didn't say I'd be back. But I didn't throw the envelope away either.